So I had somebody from within the industry ask my opinion on how I would spec out a gaming notebook or desktop. So here are my thoughts. First and foremost, get the display right. On a notebook, a 4K display is really overkill. Most media that you're going to consume is going to be at 1080p and would have to be scaled up to the 4K resolution. Also, streaming 4K media is going to be problematic at best over Wi-Fi, which is most likely going to be your use case with a notebook. From a gaming perspective, gaming at 4K is really demanding on your hardware, and you would either suffer in your gaming performance or require you to kind of overbuy from a GPU perspective. In many instances, you would have to scale the resolution to 1080p or 1440p, which means you're going to lose sharpness and clarity with the image on the screen. For a 13 to 15 inch notebook, I would recommend 1080p. For 15 inches and above, I would recommend 1440p. From a desktop perspective, invest in a good monitor. This is a long-term buy that can last you through several upgrade cycles. I recommend a 1440p vertical minimum, and I also recommend ultra-wide panels. My preference is a 3440 by 1440p ultra-wide, and if you can, get a fast refresh rate between 100 and 120 Hertz. So from a CPU and GPU standpoint, you want to make sure you don't overbuy and spend a premium for what is just a modest increase in performance. On the processor front, stick to the 5 or 7 series from AMD and Intel, so that would be Ryzen 5 and Ryzen 7 from AMD, and then an Intel Core i5 or Intel Core i7 on the blue side. On your GPU, get at least 4 gigabytes of video RAM and possibly 8. You don't want, again, to overbuy and get the top tier card that's going to be overkill for the resolution you're running on a notebook. My last recommendation is fast RAM and fast storage. We're going to take the money we've saved by choosing wisely on the display, CPU, and graphics card front, and we're going to invest it in 16 gigs of RAM. Any less and you're going to hamper your system performance. Any more and it's really overkill for games and most applications. And we're also going to invest in a single large fast solid state drive. For a notebook, I recommend a 0.5 terabyte to 1 terabyte. And on a desktop, I recommend a single 1 terabyte M.2 form factor if you can get it. A lot of people recommend adding bulk storage on top of an SSD. I don't recommend that. I would go with the NAS, network attached storage. This comes with several advantages over a secondary drive in your notebook or desktop. One is that you can offload your bulky media files such as photos, music, and movies into the central location so that anybody in your house can stream those even when you're not there in the case of having it on a notebook. And it also offers the opportunity for redundancy. You can set 2 drives in mirroring so that you guard against losing data in case of a drive failure. And finally, having everything in a central location on the network attached storage makes upgrading your notebook or desktop that much easier. When you go to upgrade, you don't have to worry about backing up or offloading things like your music, your movies, and your photos. They're already there in the central location. You can also use it for temporary storage of games out of your Steam library so that you don't have to re-download those. And it just makes the upgrade cycle that much easier. So one word of caution I would have on the notebook front is, if you're considering buying a really large heavy notebook with an even bigger price tag, like $3,000 to $4,000, don't. Take the bulk of that money, invest in a good desktop that you can upgrade over time, and then buy yourself a notebook that you can take with you when portability is needed. So far in the video, we've talked about how to save money and make wise choices to get the biggest bang for your buck. There are a few areas where I would pay a premium and possibly overspend a little bit. And the first of those is on your input devices. Don't skimp on the mouse and keyboard. You can hamper a really good gaming notebook or desktop by having poor input devices that hamper your experience and your enjoyment. So the second area where I would invest extra is on aesthetics. Having a gaming rig that is cool, quiet, compact, and stylish takes real engineering resources, and it's something that I'm willing to pay to reap the benefits from. So it used to be when speccing a gaming rig, you could have cool, quiet, or small, pick 2 out of the 3. Now with today's power efficient components and good engineering, you can have all of the above, and you can even get stylish in there. Picking something that's not obtrusive and blends into an environment uh, will help convince your non-gaming parents or significant other or roommates to maybe let you keep a gaming PC in the living room. It also makes it much more portable to take to LAN parties, or maybe when you go off to college where space is a premium both when you're packing and where you're living. So personally, I would love a really good external GPU solution that paired with a great notebook. It would be great to have a really powerful external GPU enclosure that doubled as a docking station, that maybe had a slot on the side, kind of like the Nintendo Switch. You could take a notebook, slide it in on its edge, have two USB Type-C connectors, one dedicated to your display, the other dedicated to your networking, USB peripherals, and such. And I think with the recent announcement of USB 3.2, which doubles the bandwidth of USB 3.1, we can probably get over some of the performance hits that we've seen with the first generation of external GPU enclosures that are on the market. So this has been my thoughts on how to wisely spec out a gaming notebook or desktop. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.